Some media outlets fear that there will be a war tomorrow. What do we need to know? We have complete control over our borders and we are fully prepared for any escalation.
All right, let's get some analysis from Andreas Umland, who is a research fellow at the Swedish Institute of International Affairs. He also joins us from Kiev. Andreas, good to have you on the show. What's your take on this coup plot? From what I gather, and I know that you've been listening to Johannes as well, what I gather from Johannes is that perhaps Zelenskyy might be attempting to divert attention towards Russia, when in fact the problem is actually a fundamental issue within Ukraine.
Well, the current battles within Ukraine between different camps, between the presidential administration or government and oligarchs are actually something quite common, and that has been in one way or another replayed with all the former presidents. And the hope is now that perhaps Zelenskyy will somehow change this setup. I find it difficult so far to assess this coup story. Maybe it's made up. Maybe it is not as serious. If it is indeed, as Zelenskyy says, that there is some sort of Ukrainian-Russian coup attempt, then that would be indeed very worrisome.
When you look at sort of the wider developments in the region, the fact is that Russia is gathering forces near the border with Ukraine, or at least that's what the West and NATO is saying. What's your take on the buildup, the military situation? I mean, is this a game of cat and mouse with the intention to test Ukrainian reaction?
That was the theory that turned out to be true in spring. At the current moment, I'm not so sure because the military experts are taking this build-up more seriously. In spring, there were trainings, maneuvers, and now there are no major exercises being announced. But the troops have been brought from Siberia to the Russian-Ukrainian border. So while I would still think it is more likely that there will be no major escalation, it looks more likely now than it looked in spring.
Okay. Preparations are underway for organizing the next summit between U.S. President Joe Biden and Russia's President Vladimir Putin. When it comes to the Ukraine issue, what do you think each side is hoping to get out?
Well, the U.S. and Russia have actually quite clearly made their positions open, and we know what each side wants. Basically, the U.S. wants Russia to back off, to get out of Ukraine, basically, and Russia wants some sort of a special sphere of influence in the former Soviet space, and that is going to be the main sort of say front line of these negotiations. One of the critical issues will be here the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. Another one, what will be the future of Ukraine in terms of its integration into European and Euro-Atlantic structures such as NATO. I don't think there will be a major outcome of such a meeting, but it would perhaps be good to have it just to de-escalate the current situations somewhat. But frankly, I can't see any space for rapprochement, for some sort of major change, because the front lines are pretty clear right now.
Okay, so you believe that there is little possibility in terms of de-escalating the situation, because as we know, it's no secret that Ukraine wants to become a member, or NATO wants to make Ukraine a member. It's purchased armaments from the U.S. as well as other Western countries in recent years. Russia, Moscow has said clearly this is a red line for them. So there is no middle ground here.
Yes, indeed, that's the problem, and the whole sort of larger issue is here that Ukraine is objectified. It's sort of seen as an object of negotiations, and by Russia, first of all. But Ukraine has made its own choice. That is the problem. It actually had already put the aim of NATO membership in law in 2003, even before the Orange Revolution, almost 20 years ago now. And Russia does not want to recognize that and sees it all as somehow organized from Brussels or from Washington.
All right, Andreas Umland, thank you very much for your time joining us here on the NewsHour. I do appreciate your analysis.